have the distinct pleasure of introducing to you Mr. Greg Reid. Yay, Greg. Greg is so cool. He is a filmmaker. He's everything. He's a filmmaker. He's an author, a best-selling author. He's on multiple corporations. And right now he's developing several TV shows, one of which is called Wake Up and Crush It, right?
That's it.
And he's just got his hands on a lot of pots. But ideally, we're hoping that, Greg, you'll share with us where your career started and how it got to where it is today.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I just got the trademark last week for Wake Up and Crush It for the show. So it's pretty exciting. And it's good to see you again. Long time.
I know, long time.
Yeah, we go way back from Secret Knock days from, 10 years ago. So for those of you who are new to my work, my name's Greg. I'm here in San Diego, California. I've been published in 118 books, 45 languages, make movies, like she said, and do these amazing events. And it all began by accident. It was by one interesting story. You see, from age 20 to 40, I only had one job, like old school stuff. I did advertising sales. And one time a person, I couldn't even tell you who to credit it to, came into my office and said, "What would you do if you could do it for free?" And I says, "Well, I guess I'd be a teacher." I go, "But there's not a lot of money in it. I like my lifestyle." Yeah. And they said, "Well, what's your passion? What are you good at?" And I says, "Well," I go, "I guess I'm full of hot air. I'm a good communicator." And he says, "Well, how could you take action with the right people?" And I said, "I'd be one of those motivational speaker author guys." And he says, "Why don't you do that?" And I almost felt like I left my body and I floated around. I go, "You mean I could do that?" 3 days later, I put my business up for sale, and here we are today.
And here we are. And so you said, essentially, you said you jumped in and followed your passion right away. And so what was the first thing you did within that space?
Well, I started speaking all the different universities, anywhere that would have me. They passed me around like a joint at a Grateful Dead concert. It was really interesting. And then finally, some kid came up and says, "You know, you should write a book." And I said, "Well, that's a great goal. I've never really read a book beginning to end." So I did my first one called The Millionaire Mentor. And luckily, it went on to impact the lives of many. But here's a great little story. I'm dyslexic. I can't spell very good, and I can't read very well. If you play me Words with Friends, you'll win every single time. And I was turned down by 268 publishers, agents, and printers in a row until the 269th one said, we'll do your book, but change everything about it. I did. And again, it went on to become a success. So much so that one quote from that book was shared 37 million times last year.
What was it?
Well, you've seen it a million times, all the bumper stickers and coffee mugs with it on it. You just don't know it's my quote. It's all about dreams and goals. It says a dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. Real simple. Well, I wrote that in The Millionaire Mentor, and now it's been shared globally all over. Many organizations use it as their catchphrase. Yet it would never have seen the light of day if I would have quit after 50 rejections or 118 or 212. The secret is to never let another person or yourself talk you out of something that you know to be true.
Right, absolutely. And so you've gone on to inspire people, and you've put together various networking events, or tell me some about all those.
Well, you know very well about these.
I know, but they don't want to hear from me, they want to hear from you.
Yeah, it's so interesting. We did everything like George Costanza opposite day, if you ever watched the Seinfeld episodes back in the day. So when everyone else would brag about the speakers and what you're going to learn at the events, we did the opposite. Our events are very difficult to get into, and we're known as the greatest event that you cannot attend. You have to fill out an application, go through a process, then it costs thousands of dollars, and we will not tell you where it is or who will be there. You just got to trust us. And we end up becoming Forbes magazine, Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur's top business event for entrepreneurs.
So for somebody who's young and they're just starting their career, what do you recommend to them?
Surround yourself with people that are getting the results that you want for yourself today. And I add today, for example, a good buddy of mine started a company called Chuck E. Cheese. We all grew up with Chuck E. Cheese, but if I was going to do a restaurant, I don't think I'd ask him. He did it 50 years ago. I'd say, who's doing like Mr. Beast burgers or Five Guys or In-N-Out or whoever's crushing it in today's market, and ask them for guidance because they're getting the results that I want.
Interesting. Cool. Did you go to college?
Very shortly, yeah. So I went to school for maybe, I think, 3 college credits. And fast forward, now I've got 2 honorary PhDs, and I can consider myself a doctor for impacting the lives of many.
Yeah, I saw that, Dr. Reid. I like that. Interesting. So maybe the moral of the story here is you can become anything without a college degree.
Yeah, look, I don't want to poo-poo on people that want to go to school. I mean, God bless you.
Yeah.
To thine own self be true. For
Yeah.
myself, it didn't work for me. Again, though, I was dyslexic. I was handicapped when it came down to learning, disability for myself. It was very difficult. So rather than fight it, I said, well, what is the opportunity and the challenge that I could take? And I started finding ways to see things from a different point of view. And by doing that, I started following clues, patterns, choices, and I could learn things very fast where others couldn't see things that were right before their eyes.
Wow. So I also hear you have a star on the Las Vegas Strip. Is that how that goes?
Yeah, check it out. Boom, isn't that crazy? Yeah.
So what, I didn't even know there was a Walk of Fame in Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
they did it right on the strip there. So I'm right across from the Bellagio in front of the Paris Hotel. In fact, you can stand on my star and watch the water show. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
And
cool.
I'm right there with Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra and all these amazing human beings that have done much more than I have to impact
Wow.
the world in which we live.
Your story is so cool. I remember back in the day, you used to go and drive your Mercedes down and help kids, right? You were the million, that's where your book came from, right?
Yeah, I still do. It's so funny. I'm still in contact with many of those. They're not kids anymore. Now they're all grown up, but many of
Yeah.
those people that have grown in their own juggernauts of success.
Fantastic. Could you share a little bit about your upcoming TV show?
Yeah, I've been working on one called Wake Up and Crush It. It's pretty exciting. It's kind of like a day in the life of a shark in Shark Tank, what it's like at home, where people show up constantly and would like connections and resources and, opportunities given to them, where I give a little bit of tough love and tell them what they need to hear and not always what they want to hear. And each person or contestant has got to earn their way to get access to something called the Rolodex of love, or I call it the switchboard. And I mean that because I use it to connect people.
So in other words, people apply to be on this TV show, sort of like is a reality TV show, I guess it is, right?
Yes, it's a reality show. A lot of people will sit there and say, look, I want to start a new clothing brand, for example, like our first episode. Well, that's a great story. But what's happening is they don't have all the necessary resources. And in today's market, you don't need a lot of cash. What you need is a great idea, inspiration, the chutzpah to get off your backside to take action. And sometimes all we need is one quality introduction to separate ourselves from the 95% who dream to the top 5% who act. And so if I can introduce them to Brian Smith, founder of UGG Boots, and cut the learning curve in half, I want to do just that.
That is fantastic. I love that. And Dan, what else do you have going on in your life besides that? Are you writing any more books?
Oh yeah, we're putting out 5 books a year. It's been absolutely phenomenal. Working on a new TV show right now. It's a movie short called Garot. And then after that, I'm working on another one, the same folks that we did Wish Man with. And it's been a blessing and an honor to get in this space. And people ask why I'm doing it. And here's the truthful answer. It's just an exponential growth. If I wrote another 100 books and impact another million people, that's awesome. But with one movie like Wishman impacted the lives of tens of millions of people exponentially. So I realized by doing one major quality, activity, I could actually have an exponential effect and maybe inspire someone to take action on someone who might be afraid to because they're worried about what other people are thinking.
Outstanding. So who are your mentors? Do you have any mentors?
Many mentors. Now, a lot of people understand this. There's a big difference between being a coach and a mentor. A coach is somebody that you hire to kick you in the backside to do something. Like you got to hire a coach maybe to get you your tail to the gym to do your workout, right? But a mentor is someone you don't really pay. It's somebody that is like the old wise sage that will give you the guidance, and then someone else, like I said, kicks in the tail to take action. So I have many mentors. So for example, I've got a tennis mentor who's working on my backhand, but I'm not going to ask them about my speaking career. And I'm not going to ask them my speaking, mentor about writing books or, starting a new business. So I surround myself with the greatest people that are getting the results that we want. For example, you had Larry Namer. Since I'm doing a TV show, I reached out to him. Heck, he started E! Entertainment Network. So I'm going to find out exactly the blueprint so I can start duplicating it.
Outstanding. So I guess the moral of the story is don't be afraid to reach out to people and see if they won't give you some advice.
Yeah, the most successful people are the most available. If you're brand new, happy-go-lucky, you're cool. Top of the field, happy-go-lucky, you're cool. In the middle, pain in the neck. You're filled with ego, you're edging God out. I always say it's easier to get to the founder of RE/MAX Real Estate Corporation, a $1 trillion enterprise, than your local RE/MAX president down the street. And so the whole idea is, how do you jump to the front of the line? And you do that with specificity. Here's a newsflash. No one wants their brain picked. No one wants to go to lunch. They don't want to have dinner. They don't have coffee. Specificity rules the day. So if I want to get access to, again, the founder of, call it NASCAR, I'm going to say, Mike, I need 12.5 minutes of your time. I'll cover all my expenses to get to you. From the moment I enter the door to the moment I leave will be 12.5 minutes. I'll start a stopwatch. Ask you one simple question, X, Y, Z. The chance of them coming down from their office to the boardroom is so high because it's specific. People don't understand that, but that's how you open up the doors.
That's massive, because I mean, networking, especially when people are young, they really need to do that on LinkedIn. And exactly what you're saying, Larry Namer, I wasn't sure he would do the interview, but he was like, sure, I'd love to. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Specificity is the key to everything. I'll give you another example. If I'm on stage and there's 10,000 people and you walk off and there's a long line of folks want to meet you, they say the nicest things. How can I work with you? How can I be of contributions? How can I be of service? I don't have 30 minutes to do a resume check to answer that question. Compare to that to someone who walks up and says, hey man, I checked out your Instagram while you're on stage. You got 1 million followers. I make really cool memes. Let me send you one. If you like it, maybe you'll use me. 8 seconds. I know who you are, what you do. You got my cell phone. We're in contact. That is the key.
So of all your books, which one would you think would be the best one for somebody who is in the career market that wants to be inspired or have some new ideas that they hadn't thought of?
I'd say 3 Feet from Gold, only because it inspires you to not give up when you're that close to the finish line. First, there's a dream, then there's a challenge, and then comes victory. Unfortunately, most people quit in the minutia at the challenging times. So if you can stay the course, chances are you'll finally get to your destination.
Absolutely. And I saw that you posted about your son hired somebody to help clean his room.
Yeah, so interesting. I teach him all these little nuggets of entrepreneurship, and then he actually does it. And I don't know if I'm angry or happy or proud or what it is, a combination. So a couple of weeks ago, I was having my first party after COVID, and I said, hey, go upstairs, make sure you make your bed, clean your room, everything, because we're having a house full of people. And a little bit later, one of the neighborhood kids came down and his dad was there and says, here's some money. Will you put in my bank? And I said, where'd you get that money? And he says, I got it from Colt. And I go, why did he give you money? He says, well, he hired me to make his bed, to clean his room, to put away his laundry. And I went to my son and says, why'd you do that? He says, Dad, you taught me, work your strengths, hire your weaknesses. I had something better to do.
So what are his strengths?
Right now, it's doing a lot of this digital media, believe it or not. He makes really cool TikTok videos and things of this nature. He plays video games. He's teaching other kids little tricks and nuances. What's common sense to you could be genius to someone else. So for example, he's a real whiz when it comes down to playing Fortnite. Well, he knows all the tricks and all the little techniques. So other kids come by, sit next to him to learn this. So again, what's easy to him, someone else, it's pure genius.
Absolutely. So do you think he'll own a business by the time he's 15?
Well, it's a talk that we have all the time. If you ask him right now, if he was here and I said, what happens when you're 18 years in one day? He'll tell you, I get kicked out, because that's our deal. Because my goal is I want him out of the house at 18 years in one day. And the way that is that I'm going to teach him everything he needs to know to run his own business, to have a life of most people can only dream of, that he'll help create for himself.
Outstanding. All right. So if you have one more piece of wisdom to share with the world, what would you like it to be?
Yeah, CPC, clues, patterns, choices. I wish I would have learned this when I was younger. It's about accountability and responsibility for every single thing that happens. It's your fault. So for example, how many times have we seen someone with a bad reputation in business? They cheat your best friend, then we do business thinking it'll be different. Things go wrong and we're mad at the person. We saw the clue, we saw the pattern, we made the choice. It's like seeing a rattlesnake rattle, bite your kid's sister, you go to pet it, get bit, and you're mad at the snake. If we look back in life, rarely will we be angry at relationships that failed or negotiations that fell through. We're just mad that we stayed in too long, because we saw the clues, we saw the writing on the wall, we saw the patterns, but we made our choices late.
Right. Outstanding. Well, Greg, you're so wonderful to give me some time to talk to you and find out what you're doing.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you again. Come back to Secret Knock. I got a chair warmed up for you.
Oh, you're so cute. Thank you so much. Your secret knocks are off the hook.
I appreciate it. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Easy peasy.